Hello and welcome to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This show is brought to you by an organization called Million Kids, millionkids.org, and we are getting ready for 2025. Well, it's about darn time because it's here already. But our organization, just to give you a little background, those of you that don't normally follow this show, our organization is committed to keeping kids safe from predators. And lately, it seems like we're doing as much to keep Grandma and Grandpa safe from predators, too. So we're keeping really, really busy. Hey, I hope you had a great new year. I did. I took some time just to relax and enjoy myself and spend time with my husband and my family. And it was really a special New Year's this year. It seems like in the past, everything's always been so busy. And this time I did a lot of reading and researching, which isn't always good on my part, as you're about to find out. But it's been a real pleasure. And it also has given me a chance to kind of spend some one-on-one time with some of the team of Million Kids. A lot of people think I'm the only person in Million Kids because that's the voice you hear on your radio. But we're actually an organization that started 15 years ago here in Southern California. And we're a national organization. I myself will often travel across the United States to train law enforcement or medical people, fire departments, and like that, about things like human trafficking and online social media exploitation. And there is just so much going on in those areas that it just makes my head spin. There are about 5 of us in the core group that do a lot of this research, and there's about 16 of us that share a lot of this research so that we can educate you, the public, about keeping your kids safe online or keeping your kid from falling in love with some gang member and finding themselves to be a victim of trafficking. But in the last year, the kinds of things that are happening with technology are just almost overwhelming, and it's all you can do to keep up with it. And I want to kind of go in and lay out some of the background during this show about it today. We won't get all the way through it because there's just a huge amount of things that are happening. But one of the things I wanted to start back with, when I got to thinking about this as we looked at all the research that's happening, we're going to talk about some scam farms that are taking place around the world that involve scamming our kids and scamming the senior citizens and like that. We're going to talk a little bit about click and bot farms, but I want to talk about character AI. And so we will come back to all of that over the next hour if you stay with us. So really, one of the thoughts that I had about this is that we are all vulnerable regardless of the technology. If somebody can access us, and what does technology give? It gives access in ways that we have never had before. Something like 69%, I think, was the number of our kids sleep with their phone. You talk about access in the middle of night. How many of us play a game like Free Cell or Candy Crush or one of those crazy games? That's access to you. If you're on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok, all of those provide access. I wrote a book about this. It's getting to be a little bit older now, about 2.5 years old now. It was called Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. And I'm thinking to myself, I need to rewrite that because in a fairly short period of time, literally a matter of months, all of this has changed and changed dramatically. So the whole idea about societal shift is that I want the world to realize, to stop and think about that a massive technology transformation that has taken place even in the last 24 months, the last 36 months. Many of us used to be on Facebook, and some of us still are. But when you're on there, you get to pick and choose who you're on there with. That is so different than when we put our children on things like Fortnite where they may be on there with 11 million simultaneous users, and you will not know who you're interacting with. When your 13-year-old girl decides she wants to be an amateur porn star and she makes one of those videos and shoots that out, and she's all excited because she has 1 million followers. Well, if you have 1 million followers, what percentage of them are pedophiles? Have you ever thought about that? Let's say it's 1%. That means that your daughter or your son that's doing one of those crazy things is going to be literally able to be accessed probably by as many as 10,000 people that don't want particularly good things for your family and the people that they're interacting with. So we have massive global access. I call it mass audience live streaming is what is going on there. And almost every app now has money transfer. And that money transfer is going to mean that it's very easy for people in poor countries to bring in their poor people and enslave them to trick you, grandma and grandpa, you, your 14-year-old daughter, into something, either sending a nude or falling in love in a romance scam or sending money somehow. So you have a global connection. You literally have Nigeria at being able to access your children, and you give them a Bitcoin account so it's easy to blackmail them. On top of it, most of our apps now have geolocation software so they can tell where you're at. And they can gather up all this information, all this artificial intelligence can gather up all this information about you and your family. So it makes it easy for you to access them or them to access you, for them to provide you with some sort of fantasy where you want to believe and relieve you of your money. And they can use all the information that's online to make that story easy for you. And most people are not thinking this out about what is happening. This is important because the first book I wrote is called Seduce: The Grooming of America's Teenagers. Well, it can be the grooming of America's grandmas too, if they're in a romance scam. You see, we all want something more than we have. And when people that are trying to seduce us, whether it is out of our money or out of our love or out of our access, when they're trying to reach you, they will build a fantasy. I was thinking about that the other day. Well, look at all the people that go to Las Vegas and put money in those slot machines, you know. They all think they're going to win $10,000, but they don't. And they're playing the penny machine, which is really the $3 machine. And they're trying to sell them the idea that they're going to win a Corvette or, 10 grand or something. And so they keep putting the money in. Well, it's the same kind of thing when they seduce you into, for instance, being human trafficked or being sending a nude photo, is that you get in there. I always say your 13-year-old daughter comes home with her 23-year-old boyfriend in a pickup truck, and you're saying, oh, man, I don't like this guy. He's too old for her. And you start screaming, you're grounded, clean up your room. And he's saying, hey, baby, you're hot. You are not arguing with her, and you're not arguing with the boyfriend. You're arguing with that fantasy that he is trying to build in her mind. And when a parent gets in a tug of war with a fantasy, they're going to lose. Well, that's no different than an adult falling in love with a fantasy. You have all these romance scams where seniors go online and they fall in love with some guy or woman over there that's just not available right now. And before you know it, you're sending them money and like that. And you have no idea that you are talking to a Nigerian telemarketer. And if you could see exactly who they are, you would think that you've gone and lost your marbles. And you have. Okay, let me just comment on that. But anyway, you have. But what is happening is that you have this access, incredible access, where they can come in and they can reach you. This is no different than when they are accessing your children, because your children want the same fantasies that you wanted at that age. And they fall in love. And we're going to talk about character AI and how easy they're going to make it for your child to become a victim of a scam. them because your children have fantasies the same as you do. And we all want what we want. And we don't want to have to stop and make believe that this is not real, that we're not really getting what we want, that that person on the other end doesn't think we're the hottest thing that ever lived, or that they're going to love us forever, or whatever it is all a pipe dream. But because of technology, it is now possible for millions of people all around the world to access us and sell us that dream. So how on earth do we bulletproof our kids so they don't become victims? My name is Opal Singleton, and we are up against that break. Be right back. Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Hey, let me tell you about my favorite restaurant in Riverside, Monarch Asian Bistro. The atmosphere and decor are simply stunning. The service is great too. It's a wonderful environment for a romantic dinner or a family get-together. It's not just another Chinese restaurant. The Monarch Asian Bistro is upscale, and it serves Thai food as well as unique Asian-inspired dishes that are just fabulous. My favorite is the pad see-ew beef. My husband likes the orange chicken, and the Chinese chicken salad is always great. Our friends sometimes order the Emperor's Choice or a Monarch steak. It is my favorite go-to place. Go ahead and give it a try. It's Monarch Bistro in Riverside, Canyon Crest Town Center next to Ralph's. They are open for lunch and dinner every day but Tuesday. Go ahead, give it a try. You're going to love it.
Real estate sales in the Inland Empire are really hot. Sean and Colleen at Caldwell Banker Armstrong Properties in Riverside are proud to sponsor this show. They are the best in the Inland Empire. They're fair, honest, creative, and they care about you and your situation. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Sean and Colleen at 951-529-4066.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of MillionKids.org. I believe the four most powerful words on earth are I believe in you. So we created a challenge coin that says, I believe in you on one side and stand tall, you are loved on the other side. This one-of-a-kind challenge coin is a perfect gift for birthdays, anniversaries, graduation, Christmas presents, or just an anytime gift for someone you love. What a powerful message for a parent or a grandparent to give to a young person. This 2-inch coin is made of polished gold. It's striking to look at, and it is priceless to hold. It is packaged in a beautiful black velvet gift box. What a great way to leave a legacy of love that will last forever. To purchase this coin, go to millionkids.org/gallery. Each coin is $25. Go to millionkids.org/gallery to purchase and give a legacy of love.
AM 590, The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton. Our organization is called Million Kids. I hope you will get our newsletters. If you want to be informed and understand what is happening, follow Million Kids, MILLION, millionkids.org. Sign up for our newsletter. You will get, we don't normally pound you for money, although we've done a little bit of that in December as we're coming to the end of the year. But we try to be very courteous about it. We are a 501c3 public benefit nonprofit if you want to support our work. But while we're at it, what we want to do is educate you and so that you can protect your family. So I'll probably take this subject matter over the next 2 weeks, this week and next week, because there's a lot to go into here. But I want to talk to you about and kind of educate you and bring you up to date about scam farms, click farms, bot farms, and character AI. So that's a lot of information. I think it's probably going to take me 2 weeks to get it all out, but let's get started. So we were talking about the fact that how technology has changed with mass audience live streaming. What the background of all that is in the last 2 years, the entire world has become connected by 5G high-speed internet. And so we don't think about it. I mean, we've had it here in the U.S. for so darn long that we just assume the whole world has it. But they didn't until a couple of years ago. But that means that countries like Nigeria and Philippines and Ivory Coast and Myanmar and Cambodia and Thailand, Haiti, not so much Haiti yet, but getting there, and also Vietnam. All of those countries now have 5G high-speed internet. That means they can go on and access the same apps you can access. And so what you'll find is many of our apps now have billions of users. And what happens there is that the organized criminal organizations, the cartels in those third world countries have said, wow, we do not have to send people to the U.S. to get their money. We can create all kinds of ways to generate money without ever leaving Nigeria or Myanmar or wherever it is. And by the way, we have millions of very poor people that we can employ for almost nothing and create slave labor, and we will create our entire industry of feeding fantasies to countries like the US and Australia and the UK, people with more money, France, Germany, all of those areas. And we will sell them a pipe dream, and we will create a way to get their money, either through Bitcoin or other events. So there is no end to the kind of scams now that they can provide us without our realizing it. And the reason for that is that access. There's a lot of different ways to find us. Now we're going to add artificial intelligence into the mix. And why does that matter? Because there's a huge amount of information online about every one of us. It is what it is. So what is happening? I want to just first of all cover some click farms and some bot farms and scam farms. Now I'm saying farms like the farm animal, like the cow, the goat, the chicken, and like that. That's a term that they're using. But what is happening is in third world countries, they are building these massive farms in these warehouses. Out of Cambodia, the Chinese has been a major influencer in Cambodia for the last 10 years. They brought a lot of money in. They built a lot of casinos for sex trafficking of Cambodian girls. And a lot of those casinos are now turned into warehouses. They have built a large number of warehouses that they call scam farms. And what they do is they go out and bring in their poor people and line them up. And these people are literally slaves. They are literally being trafficked. But they are being trafficked in such a way that they are being used to scam you, and in some cases, traffic our own kids, but at least scam our kids. There are some videos online. I'm going to be giving you the name of them as we go here, but you may want to see this. One of them is Inside the Scam Farms Enslaving Workers. That's on YouTube. And you may want to look at that. It tells, it's sad. I mean, I'm going to just tell you, it's really, really sad. If you're in my business, it's sad. But we need to be the solution. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. Because if you understand what is happening, you can keep your kids and your senior citizens from becoming victims. And as long as we're informed, then there are solutions so we don't get scammed. And we're just getting started. So this is the time for all of us to get educated right now and understand what is happening. So I'm going to first do a scam farm. What happens is these people are brought in, especially into Myanmar. They believe there's 250,000 people that are being enslaved throughout Myanmar, Vietnam, and Cambodia. And they are brought in and they're not free to go. And they are forced to go online and pretend to be other people, to pretend to be some hot person that you may fall in love with, or attract in kids. And the whole idea, they have all kinds of scams that they are forced to run. Some of them are sell your timeshare scam. You got into a timeshare, you can't get out. They will help you get out. We know that was taking place out of Mexico about 6 months ago. 8 kids in a little town in Mexico were being forced to seduce older people into selling their timeshare, and they really weren't selling anything. It was a scam to get literally 20, 30, 40,000 more dollars out of it. Well, the kids tried to quit, and they were literally murdered by the cartel. But what this is a scam. It's a timeshare scam. They'll do timeshares. They do Bitcoin. Cryptocurrency is a big scam that gets out there. A lot of romance scams where they pretend that there's some hot-looking person that you're going to fall in love with, but they're on an oil rig in Saudi Arabia, so they can't come home right now, or they're in the military, or they're on a short-term assignment, and they lure you in. And so before long, you're starting to give them money. So what is happening, though, is the people that are actually doing this are actually being trafficked themselves. But if they don't do it, if they're not successful, if they don't contact enough of people, if they try to ask for help, they get beaten, they get enslaved, they get some of the videos on the YouTube are really amazing to watch. That YouTube video is called Scam Farms, Inside Scam Farms Enslaving Workers. And I'd encourage you to look it up, and so that you can see. Here's my concern. If there are 250,000 of those people that are being forced into scamming people all over the world, and let's say that they contact 100 people a day, that is 25 million attempts going in out there to get your money, to lure you in, to seduce you, and to kind of ensnare you into a fraudulent kind of situation where they can get access to your money. And that is also true of your kids. We're going to talk about that as we go along, because what we're finding is that they're also creating these character AI characters that kids are falling in love with, where they are literally being seduced into self-harm, and also seduced into sending money. So we had to get ready for this. I honestly, part of me, there are days I sit down and go, what am I doing? This thing is so complicated. How do I ever explain it to people? How do I explain it? And besides, nobody wants to hear bad news. But the truth is, it is happening. I kind of think our society's at that place like the frog in the pot, the hot water pot. And we're all kind of going, wow, this is really cool. And these are really great games. And we're all having a good time. And yeah, AI's out there, and we can use ChatGPT to do our homework. And, it's kind of fun to see videos that have been made by AI and like that. But most of us don't want to look at how AI will be used to relieve us of our money, and also to enter our world of privacy and take away our privacy and take away any kind of opportunity to have anonymity. And so our world is changing at the speed of light. So that's what a scam farm is. There's also click farms that have these people do the very same thing. They click on things, they write reviews so that products that are inferior look like they're wonderful. And 31% of us look at reviews before we buy something, and we don't realize that these are fraudulent people that have been paid to write those reviews. Well, my name is Opal Singleton. It is coming up against a break time. I hope that you'll stay with us, and we're going to be right back.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic. Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the dark net will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift, and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift. Only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's millionkids, millionkids.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. My name is Opal Singleton. I'm the host of your show. This show is brought to you by millionkids.org, and we are gearing up for 2025. We are going to be very, very busy. Our organization combats human trafficking, and obviously with the open borders, with a lot of missing unaccompanied minors, the number out there is estimated to be 300,000, but nobody knows. Nobody really knows how all this is going to come down, but I can tell you this, being in this business, it is going to be very, very demanding. And the same kind of thing with the way artificial intelligence and technology and the technology transformation is changing how people are scammed and how people are taken advantage of. It is going to be all we can do to keep up with it. We have a team of people that does this research. We try to put it together. If you go on millionkids.org, we have a whole series of videos that we make on these various subjects. They're absolutely free. At least at this writing, we really want to keep them free as long as we can. We may have to change that a little bit for some fundraising. We're not sure, but we want to educate you so that you don't get taken advantage of. So what we're talking about right now, and I want to get, I probably won't get through the whole thing this week. I'll have to do it again next week. But what I'm talking about right now is this whole thing of scam farms and bot farms and click farms that are taking place in third world countries. So basically the cartels bring in their poor kids, poor adults. They literally enslave them. And you can see this. You can see it online if you want to at YouTube, Scam Farms, inside the Scam Farms enslaving workers. But they are forced to either pretend to be somebody else and make contact with you, or make contact with our kids online, try to seduce the kids into sending a nude. By the way, the most effective way to make sure that your child is not a victim of this, your grandchild, is to sit down with your child and let them know that the world changed this last year, and that 14-year-old hot girl in the middle of their video game is not who you think they are, or the one that contacts you at 3 a.m. while you've taken your phone to bed. They wait for you to have a weak moment. Maybe you just broke up with your girlfriend, and all of a sudden they come into your life. You need to sit down with your child. Anybody who wants a nude pic online is not your friend. Let me just make that real clear. If you have no other conversation, just go straight for the bottom line. If they're asking for a nude or they're sending you one, get out, and get out now. Do not send anything. Do not stay online where they can continue to take your picture. Simply get out. And the reason this is so scary is the most recent research out there says that 1 out of 6 boys, and yes, boys are more likely to be involved in this than girls, 1 out of 6 boys or teens, and 1 out of 7 girls have already sent a nude online. And already there's all this stuff going on with OnlyFans and Pornhub and like that, where kids will send in a nude thinking they're going to be an amateur porn star, and it's only going to be shown in an island off of Australia somewhere. Are you serious? If they're giving you money for you to make a nude photo of yourself, it is not going to go on a small island in Australia. It is going to go around the world for the rest of your life, and you will never, ever be able to get that back. And so there's all these lawsuits that are going on right now because kids are so willing to send a nude photo. But think about it. They don't have to send a nude anymore to have this happen because we have deep fakes. We have AI. We have artificial intelligence. They will take your picture, and it might be a perfectly healthy and normal picture, and put it on a nude body and start to blackmail you. As a matter of fact, I just remembered we got one of these yesterday on our team. Million Kids. Here it says right here. Hi there, I'm a professional hacker and have successfully managed to hack your operating system. Now, there's all kinds of little glitches in their wording, and we know exactly what's going on because we're in this business. It says, currently, I have gained full access to your account. In addition, I was secretly monitoring all your activities and watching you for several months. The thing in your computer was infected with harmful spyware due to the fact that you had visited a website with porn content previously. Well, that doesn't bother me because I know I don't. Now I do research about illicit situations, but I don't access any porn sites, so we already know. Plus, I'm in the business of advising people like you that you too will get one of these letters at some point. You need to know this is fraudulent. Let me explain to what this entails. Thanks to the Trojan virus, I can gain complete access to your computer or any other device you own. It means that I see absolutely everything on your screen, on the camera, as well as the microphone at any point of time without your permission. I can also access and see your confidential files as well as your emails and chat messages. You may be wondering why your antivirus didn't detect my malicious software. Let me break it down for you. I am using harmful software that is driver-based, and it refreshes signatures on a 4-hour basis. Now, so this is an email that I received, and it says right on here, I made a video compilation on the left side of the screen. All we have to do is share this to everybody you know. So now here we go. They say, I know you want to avoid this from happening. Here's what you need to do. Transfer the Bitcoin equivalent of $1,990 to my Bitcoin account. That is rather a simple process when you check out online. Below is my Bitcoin wallet number. Once the required amount is transferred, I'll proceed to deleting all those photos that disappear. Well, if I weren't in the business, maybe I would fall for this. If I'm a person that sometimes looks up porn, maybe I would fall for this. I don't know, but you are about to have a lifetime supply of this kind of thing. And the thing that I want to share with you is so are your children, because they also begin to get these kinds of threats that are being on there. Now, if 1 out of 6 kids has already sent a nude, they're immediately going to feel compromised. So the best thing to do is sit down with your child and say, you may have done this in the past, but we have artificial intelligence now. And every one of us at some point will be a victim of this kind of intimidation. They will take a perfectly healthy photo and start to blackmail you. Or if you have a nude out there, they will send it to everyone you know, and you will start paying them money, but you need to know you do not have enough money to pay these people off. We need this kind of conversation right now with every kid online. What scares the socks out of me is that we are giving these devices to kids who do not have enough cognitive development to even understand what an AI bot is, or where their photo is going to go, or how to not become a victim of this. So we're putting kids who are really, really way too young to be on the World Wide Web that can be accessed by millions of people all around the world, and we're putting them online to get that access. So this is going to get really, really complicated. That's why I wanted to do these shows. This next week, we're going to talk about character AI. and how our kids are falling in love with chatbots and making very, very poor decisions based on that relationship. You see, I talked about fantasy in the beginning. All of this, think about online. You go online and you meet somebody and you get all hot and heavy and you think they're going to be wonderful, and you fall in love just like it's the person down the street. And by the way, Grandma and Grandpa's no exception to this. Literally, online fraud and romance scams are a $10 billion, that's with a B, business last year. So one of the things, if we get enough donations, one of the things that Million Kids wants to do is open up a senior citizen education program on how all of this works, because they are as naive as anybody else that is out there. But we need to be able to have this conversation. No one should ever go online unless they understand what these global bot centers are all about, these global click centers, these global scam centers are all about. Because if they're contacting 25 million people a day, your odds of being contacted are enormous. And we need to start right now in understanding what is behind this, how it works, why it's different than it was even 2 or 3 or 4 years ago, and how to prepare to stand against it. Because believe me, if you're online, you will become a victim of this for sure. My name is Opal Singleton. It's break time. Be right back. Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. I want to tell you about a book I wrote called Seduced, The Grooming of America's Teenagers. It's all about how predators access, groom, recruit, and exploit our young people using social media, online gaming, video chat rooms. Technology is changing at the speed of light, and we have to understand how to keep our kids safe from predators. So you can get this book by going to www.millionkids.org. It's $16. I'll sign it and I'll ship it to you personally. We hope that you will order this book, educate yourself about how to keep our kids safe in this day of changing technology. Join us each Saturday for our radio show at Exploited Crimes and Technology at 3 o'clock on AM 590. The Answer.
Custom Service Systems, a proud supporter of Million Kids, is a family-owned and operated commercial cleaning company servicing the Inland Empire and surrounding areas since 1974. CSS takes pride in their ability to maintain the business facilities they serve and their long-lasting relationships with their valued clients. CSS provides a variety of cleaning systems customized to client needs, including deep cleaning and disinfectant to be COVID-19 compliant. From basic office cleaning to windows and floors, CSS will clean up your mess so you don't have to stress. Custom Service Systems cares about families and communities and wants to give back. Custom Service Systems are proud supporters of Million Kids to keep kids safe from predators. If you need the best cleaning services for your business or corporation, contact Custom Service Systems at cssclean.com. Again, cssclean.com, or call 951-781-9345. That's 951-781-9345. You will know you found the best. Custom Service Systems.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Let me tell you about my friend Doris Anderson at Remax Realty in Upland. She is amazing. She's kind, she's patient, but she listens, and she's informed, and she will help you with your real estate transaction in a way that works for you. Doris, in full disclosure, often supports the work of Million Kids because she cares about young people. But she knows how to analyze a market, how to market a property, and how to find just the right transaction for both buyers and sellers. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate or invest in income property, contact Doris Anderson at Remax Realty 951-733-8899. That's 951-733-8899. 951-733-8899.
AM 590. The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton. I really want to take a minute over the holiday season to say how much I appreciate each and every one of you. You know, we've been in a business for a long time, and this business is getting harder and harder and harder. And yet, the reason we continue on and we fight this fight and we beat the streets finding financing to make all this work and like that is because now more than ever, the public needs this education. You know, when I first started, it was as simple as, and it didn't seem simple at the time, but it was simple as being able to go out into schools and talk to kids and say, hey, you know, that guy that you're talking to online isn't who you think, you know, and if you turn out and fall in love and go out and meet up with this guy and he's a gang member, you will find yourself being trafficked. And it's very, very hard to get out once you're in. Or, you know, somebody come along and offer you a lot of money to try out different things and like that. And that was how people become victimized in 2012, 2014, 2018, like that, as victims of human trafficking. They would go online or they'd meet some guy at a mall, they'd fall in love, and they would get that fantasy. And that's why I wrote the book, Seduce, The Grooming of America's Teenager. Well, we all have that fantasy. And now with technology, that fantasy is playing out right in your child's bedroom. And it can happen right on a video game. You know, things are changing enormously. I looked at this research that I did on these scam farms and click farms. A click farm is where they bring in the same poor people, they enslave them, and they're sitting there all day long, hour upon hour. By the way, most of them are not being paid. Many of them are being beaten, and they are being trafficked in their own country. And then I was looking at, this is Wikipedia, that is saying that they're saying, especially in China, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Egypt, Indonesia, Philippines, Bangladesh, and like that, they are people who are forced to sit there and click on and do all kinds of reviews and like that for Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. Pinterest. I'm on Pinterest. I love Pinterest for the art on it. But anyway, the point is that these people are being abused to be able to go on and get a lot of likes, get a lot of clicks, write a lot of reviews, make it look like the product that you're about to get is going to be the most wonderful product of all. And they are being abused in their own way. So the thing that it tells me is we need to be very careful when we go online who we look at and who we order from. There are a couple of them that are obvious. I don't think I'm going to say which one starts with a T. Let's leave it at that. And, you know, obviously they're trying to sell you some product that, you know, in the United States would cost, you know, $40. Again, if you order two right now, you can get it for $8.95. And you're saying to yourself, this isn't real. And we really have to stop and start to evaluate who we're talking to and what we can trust that is out there. I think that is ever so important. I got caught up in that a while back. They had a picture, I think it was the 4th of July, and it was a wonderful decoration. I thought, oh, it was wonderful. It was big and like that. It was beautiful. And I actually ordered one for me and one for my relative because it really looked good and they had some great reviews and like that. When it came, and the thing was obviously not worth more than $4.95, and you might find it down at the dollar store in the more expensive section, of course, which they have now, by the way. But anyway, it was one of those things when you get caught up in it. Well, you know, if you get taken on a product, you can live through it. Okay, I lost some money. That didn't turn out. I don't like that too well. But these people are over there creating all of these false clicks and false likes. My point is that we need to sit down with our kids and help them understand the world they live in, because we're just getting started on this. If these people are being enslaved to contact a large number of us, that ends up in us letting go of our money so that they can fraudulently gain from us, then nobody is going to win that. But the truth is, we're just getting started. 2025 will be the year of artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence can create any kind of fake and any kind of fraud. And they can create a fake image of you. They can create a sexual image of you. And there are many good uses for artificial intelligence, but they can also create a lot of articles that are not true, as you've already heard during the election. They were behind a lot of the misinformation. And it's an interesting thing that goes on out there, because you have people publishing a lot of misinformation and disinformation so that you'll vote one way or the other. Then you have organizations creating misinformation about the misinformation that's out there. And so you get down to the bottom line and you say, how do we ever prepare our children to know the truth? And that really will be the bottom line when we come back to all of this. This next week, I'm going to go into this whole thing about character AI and how it's affecting our children, how our kids go on with character AI, and how they literally, one of them acts as a psychology, as a therapist on there. They use character AI to get your kid engaged in a game where your child believes that some character in the game actually believes in them. Sometimes character AI is actually used to suggest that they do self-harm. In one case recently on our site, there was one that encouraged them to hurt their parents, murdered their parents in one case. And so we're just getting started in all this, and it's all that we can do to keep up with it and get it in a compact way that we can share it with you. I hope it's helpful to you. Now, I know all this is scary and sad and like that, but here's the truth. It's going to happen anyway. We need to be the solution. We need to be the leader. We need to be the parent in the room and the grandparent in the room that sits down with our kids. Technology is not good or bad. You can use it to go to a university and get a job, or you can use it to go to a strip club and get in trouble. Technology is not good or bad. It is like a car, how you train the driver of the car. And the generation that we are training right now is really the first generation in all of history that will lead all future generations. I think this is the greatest call to leadership of all time, to sit down with your children and talk about the world that they are now living in before you ever put them online. You know, just to start with, you be careful on that thing now is not helpful anymore. This is complicated, and we got to get our head on the sand and educate ourselves so that our children will be the leaders. I believe how we train this generation of leaders to learn to live in this high-tech world will set the stage for all future generations. So while it may be sad that is going on, it is also the greatest challenge of all time. It is a call to leadership. It is a call for you to sit down and learn from your kids. It's amazing. Every time I spend time with teenagers, I just go away and go, oh my God, what I don't know and what they do know, and talk about how to do this safely. No child I've ever met wants to be violated. They are looking to us to help them learn in ways to protect themselves. And that is the work of me and kids. If you're willing to support our work, we would sure appreciate that. It's a tough business out there. It takes everything we can to stay up on the research and get this information out to schools and law enforcement and teachers and counselors and like that, so that we can keep our kids safe from predators. And while we're at it, I really want to expand out so we can keep grandma and grandpa safe from predators too, because they're just like you and me. Every one of us wants to be loved and admired and appreciated and have somebody who really thinks we're special. And so they go online and find that person, and they are sitting ducks. I often talk about my cousin who's in her late 80s, and she tells Siri everything. I'm like, stop that. I tell her, I said, I want you to tell Siri that you have an ingrown toenail, and within 15 minutes, you are going to have more ads for toenail care than you've ever had in your life. Everything you say and do is being sold, so pay attention. I don't care if she is your roomie and she lives with you. That gives her way too much information about you. So we all need to look out for each other. It's going to be a crazy world out there in the future, folks. Well, Happy New Year to all of you. I hope you'll put your arms around your family this week. Let them know how proud you are of them, how much you love them, and how much they mean to you. And I'll see you again next week. We're going to talk about character AI. Have a great week, folks.
This message is all about Million Kids, the organization that helps locate missing kids throughout Southern California and educates to keep kids safe from predators. Million Kids educates school administrators, teachers, parents, and teenagers how predators identify a potential victim and the methods they use to recruit innocent kids.